CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Hey guys, the Chicken is here. Welcome back to a new season, and we have the Season 60 tech tree guide for you guys this morning. So we're going to show you the path that we're taking and what I think is going to be the right way to get going for most people. Now, it did take a little bit of losing to get up to the winning part, so you kind of have to eat it at first, but then I think we'll get you off onto the right path. So you guys haven't already, I do appreciate those of you that have been using that code Chicken in the shop. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you want to stay up to date on Season 60. Everything that's going to change as we go through the progression. You can see we got our nice new island skin from the Boom Pass. The Boom Pass is brand new as of today, so make sure that you are going in and claiming some of these rewards. Some of them are Warship related, so you'll get them just for playing the season. I didn't actually buy the Boom Pass yet, whoops. So I'm going to make sure that I go back in and do that at some point. But it doesn't matter because the rewards will still count towards the progression in the past. So here's where we're at for right now. So I copied this base from the leaderboard, and it seems to be holding out pretty well for right now. So if you're looking for an early 4ER base, this one has been fairly decent. So as we start out here, there's two options to play this tech tree. One, go extremely defensive, and two, skip everything and try to get to heavy choppers as quickly as possible because it's very defensive, and that's what you're going to need to win. So I'm going to try option 2 this time. Typically I dirty up and get all the buildings, but with heavy choppers being so early, I think we can kind of do a bit of both. So I'll just walk you through the path that we're using, and if you guys, did something else and had success with it, let me know down below in the comments. But I think this is going to be better because this is, remember, this season, it's a 3-week season. We're done with the mini seasons and the 1-week stuff. The shorter seasons, they were about do whatever you can to win right now and rank up. The longer seasons, we want to play the long game, right? We want to do what's going to be best to get us in a good position towards the end of the season. And I think getting heavy choppers is going to be the ticket to do that. So right out of the gate, we got warriors, even though we didn't use them. Gunboat energy. This multi-node, we went with the flamethrower. I think the flamethrower is good because a lot of guys are either heavy rushing or they're using warriors. And it seems like right now, at least without all the defensive stats, that's the best defense to slow up that hit. Lots of heavy Zookas out there as well. We got our first penalty node here, but since I'm not taking rocket choppers right away, we didn't have to get that. I mean, the more penalty nodes you can skip, the better. And then we move forward from 3 engines. Now, we did skip some of the good stuff in here. DBD, mortars, obviously that's going to help. A lot of the compact bases, they're going to be running that kind of stuff. But, again, once we get to heavy choppers, since we already have heavies too, we're going to be able to crush those bases. So you always got to look at what's good now, but also what's going to be better in the future. Getting to Zookas was a nice push point. I don't think I won a single match until I actually got to Zookas. Heavy and Zooka has been able to clear pretty well everything, even with very limited gunboat abilities. Right now I only have medkits. We have no flares. Obviously, yeah, we're going to have to go back for flares at some point, but for right now, it's kind of 50-50 whether we're winning or losing anyways, so I don't think the flares are going to help out that much. Obviously, some matches we could win with them, but they're fairly off path as well. It means we have to get a negative node, we have to get riflemen first, so we're going to skip that for the time being. Adding machine guns was okay. Adding barrage will be good because at tick 4 barrage, I got this tip from Sad Guy. He said at tick 4 barrage he was able to clear out 1 engine room and then just rush the other 3, so if you're giving up flare for that, I think that makes sense. Then we have our first negative node before heavy choppers. I think what makes sense here is to take the gunboat energy negative, but then also go back and make sure that you've upgraded the gunboat, because we do have a GB node here that we've already unlocked. So I mean, as long as we can launch our heavy choppers, or most of them, because we're probably going to be running like a 6-2 or like a 5-3 heavy chopper Zooka split, that should be lots of GB. And we don't have any gunboat abilities, so for right now, I think that makes sense. Maybe later on in the season, we'll switch it to a stat loss, but for right now, that's kind of what we want to do. So that's the idea for starting out of the gates. Obviously, Seekers are going to be a thing soon as well. And with no shock mines, with no shock launchers, with no sky shields, I think Seekers are going to do pretty well. The only saving grace for the Seekers is there's no troop health until, what is this, 5ER? That's 6ER, I think. Yeah, 6ER. So no troop health until 6, no shocks until, for a long while. So we are going to have to dirty up by the time we get to heavy choppers in order to stop the seekers, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know at that point, but yeah, so I think that makes sense for most people. Now, alternatively, if you do go defense, the problem is you're going to struggle a little bit on offense, and then with the defense cluster bases, like with mortars and all the stats and everything, it comes down to who can get more percentage, which isn't really a fun way to play the game. So that's why I'm trying to promote doing like alternative paths to that, because clearing 1 is very boring and very annoying. But you might be able to get some wins doing that. So if you want to win right away, that might be a good option. But it's just, I don't know, I haven't done it myself, and I don't see a lot of people having success with that. If we go look at the top of the leaderboards, this is where I got my base from. You can see he's running troop damage and gunboat energy, no defensive stats. And if we go to the globals here, ooh, this guy's full dirty, so 50. So you can do either or, I guess. You can do either or. He's a rank 18 already. Yeah, this guy looks more similar. He's probably already got the heavy choppers because you see he's got the negative node. So some people ask that. They said, what happens if you take a negative node and you don't have any of the stats unlocked? It's just going to take away from your base stats. So this guy's starting with 30% GBE loss, which is kind of crazy. All right, let's dive into the attacks next. Let's dive into the attacks next and see. So this is very similar to my base. So these are the hardest ones, I think, with the mortars. So basically what we do is we just want to split them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there's not a whole lot to the attacks, guys, because we don't have flares. We don't really have anything. We don't really have anything that's going to help us. So we've got our big level 2 medkits, so we'll be able to throw those out. And that's typically all that I'm doing, is I'm just medkitting heavies over the flamethrowers just to try to slow down that splash damage a little bit. But these bases have been the hardest for me with this setup, just because the mortars are able to clip. This is actually the first base I think I've gone against that had mortars, DBD, and machine guns. So I don't think we're going to be able to get through this one. It doesn't look like, but let's see here. Yeah, he's got too much stuff left. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, with no flares to move them around. We're really kind of screwed here. We needed a really lucky, RNG from that machine gun, but that ain't gonna happen. But you can see the base. It does slow them down fairly well. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, that mortar and DBD, those are really making a difference for a lot of people right out of the gates. But let's try one more. Hopefully we don't get a fully maxed defense base. Let's see. Okay, this guy's got a cluster with mortars. At least he doesn't have machine guns. I think we'll go on the clusters. I like going 5-3. That seemed to work better. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then I like to throw the 5th heavy just kind of up the gut, like delay him just a little bit, just so they're not all taking all of the splash damage at the same time. And then same thing, medkit over the flamethrowers. Nothing really else we can do. Flame them up. Oh, this guy's got boom cannons. Okay, I was like, why are my heavies dying so quickly? That's why. Of course, we won a bunch before this, but then for the video, we'll match bases that we have zero possibility of even getting a couple engines on. So it's gross. It's a dirty start, but heavy choppers are going to be the saving grace, guys. So I do hope that gets you off on the right foot. Definitely an interesting one with all the negative nodes. April Fools is on us, I guess. But yeah. So you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. That is going to wrap up the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative. Catch you next one, guys. Chicken out. Back. Just throwing this in, I shouldn't have stopped there. We actually won that based off percentage, which was unexpected, for sure. So maybe we got a shot at rank 13, then we can start moving after we get barrage. So there it is. Appreciate you guys. We will now catch you next one. Bye.